Hello, how are you? Hold on, there we go. I was in the wrong screen. Hey, crazy nurse, how you doing? Hi, Kay, Clancy. St. Elmo's fire. Did Dolly Vision break up with her? Inquiring minds want to know. No, not really. Oh, shit, I don't know. Was that ever really a thing? I mean, I heard her describe it in a really disgusting way one time that I have too much class to do, but, I don't know. That's wild speculation. We don't do that. We don't do that here. This is a serious news channel. No, not really. Oh, God, I don't know. Hey, Bash Tragedy Pimps. I think I have a meeting at 4 too. With all you lovely people. Hi, Mike. Hi, Christina. How you doing? Well, I'm Lisa. This is Crimes in Fashion. Love of fashionistas, felons, and Fruit Loops. We talk about some very bad, ignorant ass, oftentimes poorly dressed, and usually mean/crazy AF people while being dressed to kill. Hi, Running Bear. How are you? Oh, hey, Dis-I-Am. How you doing? Well, my goodness. I might say a thing or two that's going to surprise you. Hell, it kind of is going to... It surprised me when it went between these two things. Although I have not let it come forth from here yet because I'm still a bit... I'm not going to say puzzled because I'm not, because I get a bad rap. Okay, I know a lot of people think I'm the Antichrist. I assure you I'm not. So while I was doing a little bit of show prep, we'll just say, well, some interesting things happened. Oh, Mike, no, I'm sorry. Mike, that would probably make your life a lot easier. No, but okay, hold on. First things first. So I don't forget, and then it gets me in trouble. Fair use. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act, 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Okay, I am going to queue up. I actually have one ready to go. No, Mike Stevens, I'm sorry. I'm not telling your girlfriend that. No, I'm not going to tell your girlfriend that I think we should go have s'mores and sing Kumbaya. No, that's never going to happen. But I am going to say this. I got a bit of insight into her psyche. Damaged, quite damaged as probably it is. And I mean, me saying that would not come as a surprise to anyone. probably watched more of Betty in the last hour. Well, no, little longer than that. Let's say hour and a half. Because I was trying to figure out, okay, do we want to pick up where we left off the other day, which we are going to do that. But there's just a few places in there. And then we're going to go to the video. I think it was yesterday. Let me see. Yes. Okay, so the one that we were on with her lovely message to Duty Ron. Yes, in fact, that's right where we're picking up. Oh, hey, Johnson, how you doing? Who else came in? Running Bear, did I say? I think I said hello. Well, hello again if I didn't. Okay, so we're going to pick up where we left off, and then we're going to go to day 10, which I guess was yesterday. Okay, so I've learned a few things. First and foremost, it seems like all Betty actually does is pull up news articles that, for whatever reason, her people cannot find and or read themselves, and Betty then interprets them. Yeah, that's where the problem comes in. Okay, so there's that. I think I have a decent grasp on how she runs the show over there. Not that I ever thought she was sitting up all night long on, Westlaw or no. But I didn't realize that it was that she literally just sits there and reads news stories off the internet and then gives some ridiculous, wrong legal assessment of. But I am going to tell you, in the first one where she's, losing her shit on Duty Ron, there is a point, and yes, I do have the timestamp. Oh, my checkoff list. I'm still working on the list. It's pretty funny. I went back and revisited the list. I ran out of time today, y'all. Oh, Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Y'all know I have this wedding to go to out of town. I'm leaving Friday morning. I haven't packed one. Hell, I'm still buying dresses. I swear to God, this morning, I made the mistake of opening up an email from a company I love. And, there was this heavenly dress that it's so cute. I think I'm going to have to pull it up and show it to you. Hold, please. Oh, well, look at that. I think it's going to, oh, wait. Oh, my God. Well, isn't this serendipity? Are you shitting me? There's an offer? Well, how come there wasn't an offer when I bought it and had it overnighted? Well, that kind of pisses me off. Yeah, you know what? Okay. The way I wanted to do it, I'm not going to be able to because that would be very tacky of me. So hold on. I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to find it because it is fabulous. I don't know if it's dressy enough. No, not Midtown, New York. My God, what in the world? It's crazy how Google, what the shit is happening here? Oh my God, that was like a strange. What was that dress called? It has a name that I can't remember. Let's hope this is it. It's so cute. Oh, yes, it pulled right up. Fabulous. Damn it, it's still doing what I don't want it to do. Oh, wait a minute. I think I can. Oh, no, I can show it. I can show it without the, I don't want to show the whole. Okay, hold on. Gosh, I should have done this before. I'm just clipping it, and I only want to show the image. I'm not trying to show you guys the price tag because that's tacky, and I don't do shit like that. So that's why I'm doing it this way instead of what would have been a much easier way to do it. Okay. And if I go to the desktop and this dress isn't there, well, then I'm done. I've already wasted enough of your valuable time bullshitting about this dress that I'm sure nobody gives a shit about. But I do. Okay, hold on. I have multiples that I'm taking with me, which is just that's stupid in itself. Oh, here it is. But, I'm just not, I'm not sure what I want to wear. Okay, so this is dress number 78. Can y'all see that? Oh my God, it's so cute. This is so me. This is so up my alley. I'm hoping that it fits. And yes, I did have to have it overnighted. And of course, it's the one day that I have to go get my hair done, which is why I have this horrific rootage going on, although it's not as bad as Betty's. Oh, Queen of O'Hara. Oh, I love that. Tag 8B, how you doing? Hey, Queen B, how you doing? Okay, so yeah, this is dress number 764. Do you think that's dressy enough for a black tie deal? I don't know. It's going to depend. The solid part is kind of like a wool crepe. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping hell it works. Because I'm not happy with any of the dresses that I have. And this wedding is, oh my God. You'd think this was a damn coronation. When it kind of is, just not for me. Okay. I mean, seriously, we got colors that you're not allowed to wear. I'm pretty sure that color isn't on there. Light pink, though? Oh, God, I saw something this morning that was light pink that I loved and adored, but I was like, oh, no, nope, that's on the list of verboten colors. Okay, so back to what you all are here for, not my wardrobe issues. Okay, so I've figured out that Betty she just reads all this shit. That's a large part of what she does. She just reads. And a couple other things I've sussed out about her from watching her. Oh, yeah, it was painful. She's her thought process, this will come as no surprise, is very juvenile. She is very, and I mean, I've watched her now in different places where she's happy, places where she's frothing at the mouth, places where she's somewhere in between those two. And I just get this overall resounding immaturity from her. And when I say her thinking is juvenile, I don't even know if I think that's the best way to describe it. And it's not just her thought process is juvenile, her reactions to things are juvenile. I mean, you think about it. When she has one of her epic meltdowns daily, I'm assuming, does she not really remind you of, if you've got kids, your kids when they were in middle school? Or, hey, Earth, how are you? Texas Tiffany. Oh my God, the chat. I'm way, way behind. Don Chin, extraordinarily selfish. Yes, I would go along with that. Lisa Nia, how are you? Earth, I haven't checked my comments yet, but I promise I'm going to. And I told you yesterday there's absolutely no explanation needed for anything, and I mean that. Montana Jane, how you doing? Texas Tiffany. Oh, Lisa Nia says yes to the dress. Okay, well, good. Oh, yeah. So tomorrow, picking daisies. Oh, that's so cute. The one day in, I don't know, a while where I'm not home all day. Well, what do you think it is? It's the day tomorrow when the dress that I had to have overnighted is going to be arriving. But wait for it. It has to be signed for. I'm like, what the shit? So, of course, my husband, my husband who works my husband pays the bills, not me. Yeah, and I'm like, honey, are you going to be home tomorrow? Because, sometimes my husband works from his office here. He's like, well, I think so. Why? I'm like, I got to have this dress signed for. He's just looking at me like, are you seriously still getting dresses for this wedding? He's used to it. He's always a good sport. I guess that's why we're still married. Yeah, so I feel like I've seen her in enough, different instances now across different moods. Oh shit, that reminds me. I'm not going to play this because it's very short. And until I heard Queen Bee saying it, I really had never thought of it, but I really like that she does this, and I'm going to follow suit. Except, of course, when it's Betty. I don't give a shit for her. But Blank Screen it's less than 2 minutes. It's from today, and it was, oh God, what was it she was going off about? Oh, she talking about that Sarah Dryer. Man, I'll tell you what, Betty. I think I have a little bit of insight into why she is such a wretched bitch, but it doesn't excuse it because there's lots of people in this world who've been through things. Who the fuck hasn't? I mean, that'd be a little bit of an easier list, okay? And that, please refer back to what I was just saying about being very juvenile. Because apparently, boy, she is still, go watch the video from Blank Screen. It is her continuing to just, pour a little bit of salt in the wound of that family with some more excessively just hateful. My God. It's like Betty is her own worst advocate. And what's crazy is I don't think that she really wants people to hate her like they do. I don't. But I think that she has absolutely zero self-reflection. She has no insight into herself. I don't think Betty can even be honest with Betty, because if she could, and she could find a way to channel some of I'm never going to call her an advocate because I don't believe she is. She is a self-promotion. I think what she does, I think she has some life experience that, how do I want to put this? That gives her an interest in true crime. I mean, God knows she's Well, hell, she put the crime in true crime, at least on several different occasions. And I think listen, I'm not a shrink, okay? And I'm not trying to be one, but I'm older than her by a decade. I've had a lot of life experiences. And I've known some people like her, not quite to her, like, whew, not to that, like this level of full Betty. But when you see her do something so hateful, like she did with the first post to Sarah Dryer's family, I'm sorry, that shit is not right. You're not fucking right in your head if you feel compelled to do that. I mean, I'm sorry. That's not normal. It's not normal. Who does that? Hey, Jasmina D. Hi, headstones and headlines. Oh, well, we were having a good old time in your chat yesterday. I enjoyed listening to somebody else, like, want to rip out every single hair follicle they possessed. So after watching her today over what I'm assuming are every different mood. Because let's face it, Betty ain't that deep, okay? I mean, I have a bird bath in my backyard. It's usually always dry because it's Florida and it's hot as hell. So everything I see about her tells me that she mentally is 12, 14 years old. She is like a petulant child. And even her insults, okay? Calling other channels cockroaches. What the fuck is that? Cockroaches? Really? That's the best you got, cockroaches. And when she tries to get all, holier than thou and preachy, and I watched her today in the span of, let me see if I wrote the times. I did, but it's not many minutes. Okay. I'm going to say maybe 10. And when we get there, trust me, you'll know. I watched her going from talking about some stupid bullshit raffle for her church and talking about, I want to thank. I mean, she basically said everything except, well, my fellow brothers and sisters in Christ, peace be with you. I mean, is she going to hold confession next? We went from that and her talking about doing this online church service or something to her then going in on, who was she? I wrote it down. I wrote the timestamps down. We're just going to get into it. There's no sense me sitting here trying to explain to you what you'll hear in her own words. Don't need to hear me try and interpret them. No, I've done plenty of that. So yeah, go watch Blank Screen. I think that I'm really glad that Queen Bee does that and that I heard her do that, because it had really never occurred to me before that, especially when you've got a video that's, short like that. That is a great thing to do, to let that video, let people go and look at the original creator's video before we then go and use it for our content. I mean, it's only fair. So I just hadn't thought of it because, like y'all, I'm still very much suck at all this. I get less sucky, I hope. But, hey, Tia, how you doing? Oh, well, Running Bear, thank you. I believe I told her that the other day too. You've got what? I've got Hennessy on board. Oh God, I'm looking at that going, damn, is that a typo for Hennessy? Is it a little early? Aren't you like, I know you're on the damn West Coast. It's like, well, I guess it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Oh, listen, I don't know who Hennessy is, but do you know who I've like practically promised a friggin' organ to if he ever needed one? Like, dude, listen, you do this for this whole community. You need a kidney, call me. You need what else do you have two of? Well, my eyes suck. You wouldn't want them. What else do we have? Kidney. Oh, you can liver, and mine's good. I don't drink. Like you can like doesn't your liver regenerate? It's one of those. Wow, we've just gone the whole gamut here. Yeah. Adonis Paul. My God, listen, I hear Latini is not keeping you as busy as she once did. So listen, he thought about doing Ernie Shell one time. Do y'all know that? And the reason he didn't was because, hey, Prissy, because Ernie, holy shit, these are not Adonis Paul's exact words, but it's pretty damn close. He said that, damn, the dude, like, he went off the deep end and like started basically waving the white flag before anything had even started. So he was like, oh man, I just couldn't. No. He said something funny, like he always does, like he wasn't up to the challenge. I don't know what it was, but I guess he did give him a warning, like, okay, well, you keep doing this gross shit, and I keep having people ask me, so maybe we need to do like a campaign. I swear, Adonis Paul, I promise you. Oh God, she's not quite the gift that Latini is. I mean, in a different way, but oh God, I mean, you could definitely have some fun with, for sure. And I promise I will. You can put me on your donor list. If God forbid you ever need it, I have a clean liver. And let's see, we have 2 lungs, right? We have 2 kidneys. What else do we have 2 of? I don't even know. Some of us don't even have 1 heart, never mind 2. Brick with eyes, they definitely say that it does. Oh, SoFlo. Yeah, yes, as far as blemishes go, I'm very lucky there, but it's sagging. I'm freaking 53 years old. This is what happened. Like, I'm getting all this loose, but whatever. What are you gonna do? I'll just up the wattage on that ring light. Truthfully, I don't have a ring. I have like a little rectangle, and I hate the friggin' thing because it's so damn hot. Okay. Oh, Disayam, you want me to donate my hair to Betty? No. No. Took a long time. I have spent more than what Betty's car cost to have this hair. Not at one time, but over. But that's the thing. It's like maintenance. Okay. And there is a place in the continuum between me and this, which, believe me, it ain't looking its best right now because I've gone 4 weeks instead of 3 because I have this damn wedding and I needed to make it like, I wanted it done 1 day before the wedding, not 8 days before the wedding. So, but there is something between this and what she's got going on, which is full on homeless, angry homeless woman. Yeah, that's, hey, Remy, how you doing? Oh, correct. It does not happen. I think to get, well, I'm mostly all gray now, but I was light brown and listen, I couldn't tell you what the hell what color my hair really is. I haven't seen it in so long, I couldn't tell you, but it definitely is a process. Yes. And people, listen, I've even tried to do Betty a solid and tell her, girl, when she was like doing that, talking about, oh, I want to be taken more serious, I'm going to go brunette. Well, I told her, Betty, do not think that you can go to the store. You can't DIY everything, okay? And if you try to go to the store, hey, Ceresia, how you doing? Follow the grain, how are you? If you try and just go get a box of Miss Clairol and dump it on that fried out dryer lint and think you're going to make it brunette dryer lint, no, you're going to end up either green or, oh God, some hideous shade of, oh God, maybe like that box wine. I don't know. What does she drink? Franzia? Okay, so we're going to pick up where we stopped with Judy Ron. We're not, don't worry, we're not watching the whole thing. I've got the timestamps written down. There was just a couple funny things she said in there, but just when you think it's safe to get back in the water. Hi, Brad Neely, how are you? Just when I actually was starting to see a little bit of humanity in her, I see the blank screen video, and then I'm like, nope, erase. Hey, Fairy Dust. It's, and I think, and we're going to listen to it. I'm going to play a little bit of what she says. Of course, she's saying it to a, oh, what case is that? It's one of the little kids. Serenity, not Harmony. Serenity McKinney, is that her name? I think she's kind of speaking to the mother, who my understanding is now in jail. But I think what Betty's trying to do is like a Deepak Chopra moment. And, you know, she is the Krama Dalai Lama with her, the language of letting go. Jesus, God, if anybody ever needed to read that book, Betty, if it takes you another 15 years, keep at it, pumpkin, because how about, Betty, have you ever considered maybe books on, well, they don't call them books on tape anymore. See, that's my age. Like audiobooks. You ever thought about that? Audible? Because goodness, I think that book actually contains some things you need to know. But you could, well, I guess what I'm getting at is you may not have, I don't know what page she's on. I don't know how many pages the book is, but okay. Oh, the hair, it never gets old, does it? And tell me this. Call me crazy, but why does she give us that? If she wasn't, if her skin was not thinner than her hair, I would say, well, she just, you know, she's confident enough. She doesn't give a shit what the haters think. She care. My God, I think not only do I think it keeps her up at night, I wouldn't be surprised if she's making little voodoo dolls of all of us. In fact, I think I told Headstones and Headlines last night. I said, girls, you need she was, you know, expressing how, we'll just say, frustrated she was at Betty. Yes, Betty seems to inspire this in people. she said she was driving home from work, trying to listen to Betty, doing, show prep like me, research. And that she found herself screaming at the stereo. Yeah. I said, well, you might want to find a way to make peace with that, because if you're going to talk about Betty, well, yeah, we have to come up with some strategies. So she is the Krama Dalai Lama. And I said, do you need like a damn it doll or I said, do you want me to make you a voodoo doll? All I need is an eye of newt. I need a whole bunch of Betty's hair that we use for, stuffing. And there was something else. Oh, yes, I said I would ask my unicorn that I keep in the backyard. He's, he fills all the swimming pools in the neighborhood with his tears. I said I would ask the unicorn to cry over the voodoo doll, and then I'm going to hit it with the magic wand that even I have a little bit of a magic wand, except mine is a mascara wand and not the kind that the magician uses, although I would love to have one of those. All right. So, oh God, sorry, we got to do it. It's time. Okay. No. Well, I have mixed feelings here. There's at least 50% of me that never wants her to leave YouTube because she's just straight up. What I love is she's content that you really don't have to do. I mean, the most difficult thing you have to do with her is listen to her. Comprehending it, I can do that with almost all of my brain cells tied behind my back. So part of me hopes she never leaves. But then the other part of me, here in my perfect world, we'd keep Betty and her channel. We'd just have her, like, I don't know, doing some kind of weird cooking, like prison recipes. 1001 uses for ramen noodles. That may or may not be on my list. I think that was on a different list. But because she'd still be up there railing and telling us we're all roaches and haters and blah, blah, blah. I mean, Betty's never going to be hard to figure out, okay? She's just not. But that would only be if we could get her to leave like the victims alone. But if it would take her exiting the building altogether for the victims that she yet another thing that's both ends of the spectrum. Well, first of all, it depends on who she deems a victim, okay? And God forbid you hurt her convicted fucking felon that spent 13 years in prison. My God, I cannot stand him. He is, I don't get it. I do not get it, truly. What, like, and I don't want to hear the shit about, he did his time, blah, blah, blah. No, give him time. He's probably going to do more. My guess, this is my guess. I think that he's going to ride out the rest of his parole or probation, whatever the fuck it is. And I think the minute the ink is, I think the minute that the judge does one of those, yeah, and then he takes off his powdered wig and he puts the, the feather quill down. I think he'll be back at it. And then I think is when he gets real scary, because then he's got license. He'll be part of the free world, unencumbered by, probation and or parole officer that most people say doesn't seem to be keeping very close tabs on him. Oh, actually, I did hear last night on Queen Bee's. Did he make a post? I don't think it was a post. Well, it was either a post or it was him speaking, and it was something about when you're an informant. And I'm thinking to myself, are you fucking kidding me? Like, listen, either way, I can go with it. Hey, me, Tim, I won't be surprised if he is, which would explain how he's able to go tripping through the daisies all over the United States acting the damn fool. I don't know. So it would explain that. However, what it wouldn't explain is this is why I think it's bullshit. I think he's a fucking head case, okay? I think he sits at home. I think he and his cat, you know, oh God, don't you know that cat wants to eat his face off? Oh God. Woo. That cat's like, what the fuck? I mean, seriously? I know I've got 8 more at least, but like, what did I do? Please. I'm voluntarily giving one up. Just, I'm good with 6. Just please get me out of here. Would not stand to reason that if he truly was an informant, well, when people start getting arrested, I don't know. I mean, I don't know except what I've seen in the movies, but I'm assuming at some point he would have to testify as to information he gave, and then would that not open him up to retaliation? I don't know. But it just, I don't understand. Like, how does Betty get all up on her soapbox about like this family of this poor girl, Sarah Dreyer? And she's going to get vicious like that and hateful over that piece of shit? I don't get it. Like, I truly don't. And do you think for one hot second he would return the favor? Hell no. I don't think he's. I mean, I know Betty thinks that, well, we'll just use her words. Mammals have hair. Yeah, well, he's bald as a damn cue ball. And yeah, to me, he is definitely reptilian. So Percy, I agree. Oh, yes, Tuesday Child, don't you worry. We're going to talk about that, the Summer Wells anniversary, which means I need to shut up and we need to get rolling on this. Okay. Jesus God. Oh, it would help if I shared the screen, wouldn't it?
All over YouTube saying that I'm going to run the West Trial live. Not one time did I say I was going to violate a court order that was in my possession.
You see what
I don't break the law.
She is, okay. I told you before, she's a bullshitter, okay? I've known lots of bullshitters through my life. So have you. Everybody has. That is a trait that all bullshitters have. They do double speak. Instead of saying in plain English, what we all know is exactly what she said. She's gonna use this weird circular, just like an 8th grader does when they've been caught doing something. And instead of saying, Yeah, Mom, I know. You told me my curfew was 12 o'clock. The kid's going to stand there and say, well, you know, you told me that my curfew was 1 hour after 12 o'clock, but you didn't say. It's like they all tend to think that they're actually convincing you that it's like, save it, Betty, save it. Okay. Hi, Nick. How you doing? Hi, Liza.
Period. So I thought it was very important that we address that up front so the click channels can get that, over to Duty Ron very quickly.
What does that mean?
Another thing that they've been doing over here, and this is very important for the people that love me, is to make sure you like the channel, like the segments, because you got people like that unicorn guy.
Who knows what his name is? It's not
sitting his people over here, which it doesn't help. I mean, it doesn't hurt or help whether I've got 1,000 likes or 1,000 dislikes.
Bullshit. I beg to differ. Now, I could be wrong, but this is the way I heard this explained. I don't even remember who explained it, and it was not very recently. It was several weeks back. If she does, in fact, start getting lots and lots of thumbs down instead of thumbs up, I think at some point, in her case, she's probably never going to hit the threshold to where it actually would matter. But my understanding is, no, that does make you, I believe, at least in part, it's what they refer to as being ratioed, and it could become an issue. In her case, it's not going to. But as with most of what she says, she is either straight up wrong or partially wrong. And I don't understand, what does this mean? Get the clip channels to get a clip over to Duty Ron. Okay, Betty. Continue, please.
They think that these stupid things matter. We do like 1,000. It doesn't matter whether there's 1,000 dislikes or 1,000 likes. It pushes the channel up. And that's what they don't understand. They think if they come over here and hit the don't like button, then it's going to somehow be detrimental to my channel. So they've been coming over here in large numbers to just not to watch my channel, just to brigade dislikes for my channel. So
I promise you, I don't know who she heard that from. Brigade. She has a hard enough time with basic words, okay, and average vocabulary. But that term she has heard from someone. I promise you. I don't know who, but somebody has told her that is what is occurring.
I'm going to ask my audience for these hate channels, do unto others as they do unto us.
Ooh. And I think we would refer to that as well, Betty's a Christian woman, so that's her biblical dog whistle. Yes. Do unto others, motherfuckers. That's kind of what she's doing. Okay. Like, Betty thinks that if she says God bless in front or after, it makes it all.
So if you're there and you're watching a hate channel, go ahead. Let them know how you feel about the commentary that they're giving. They don't mind not watching my stuff. At least I'm sure my audience would give them an opportunity to at least listen to 5 or 10 minutes of their
You are so
their stuff. But you know what?
Shit. God dang. Everything about her is just, she's so disingenuous. I also have a little inside baseball about
not asking for mass striking or anything like that. I'm just asking to do unto others as they do on to us.
It's unto, not
so on. With that being said, that's where we're going to be standing on here. Just Samantha. I didn't even say good morning.
Just in case for any of you that are wondering what in the hell that thing next to her on that pleather looking couch is. And the only reason I'm saying that is because that's very shiny. Leather, especially where she'd be buying it from, is usually not high sheen like that. that thing that has been on that couch for several days, I believe. Apparently, that is some type of tabletop grill. I mean, I don't know if Betty grills in her living room. My goodness, I mean, nothing would surprise me.
Morning to everybody. Just Samantha, good morning. It was nice to see you this morning, bright and early. She's been up since 4
Here's
a.m.
another thing. I know y'all are going to kill me. Here's another thing I find very interesting about her. You can watch her go from "Hi, good morning, how are you?" to "Get the fuck out of my room." I mean, sorry, I'm sure I just blew out some people's eardrums. Oh, hello, scientific skeptic. It is like, I'm pretty sure they make medication for that. It is so crazy to me how she can, I mean, much like her hair is a gift, her absolute, my God, I know Betty doesn't play poker. That's what I'm getting at. She has no game face. Like, it doesn't happen often because nobody knows who I am. But believe me when I tell you, there have been times, especially when I was here before, that I've had people come in my chat and say some filthy things, and I just smile and roll with it. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna give you that. She just is the gift that keeps giving.
Chomping at the bit for somebody with live to come live and talk about something. She just wants something. Give her some entertainment. Give her some entertainment. Miss Potty Mouth.
We got a lot of this going on this morning throughout, and in the next one too. Oh, I will say the pollen's bad here in Florida, so maybe that's what it is.
Oh, Karen, nice to see you.
Oh, Karen.
Just Samantha. And here's this is a statement I started because I wanted to bring this up here. And Just Samantha's comments is the Lori Daybell case is so overwhelming. It's taking most of my free time to stay up to date. I think she's going to be found guilty.
Well, Just Samantha, girl, rest easy. The Krama, Dalai Lama, has got Daybell and every other case in this country on the docket well covered, okay? So Just Samantha, honey, just take this off your plate.
Thank God. I only wish her accomplices were charged as well. Well, one of the accomplices are dead. The other one is being charged right along with her. Now, we don't know how many other people played a part in it, but it seems like it was a band trio. It was her brother. It was her.
Oh, what? What the hell did she just say? Please don't make me go back. Somebody tell me in the chat what the hell she just said. It was a what trio? A band trio? Maybe she said a bad trio. Okay, well, listen, I mean, I'm going to be on Social Security if I keep pausing this.
Her and her boyfriend at the time, Chad Daybell, which is now her husband. And they killed both of their spouses and her two children. They didn't touch his children, which is very upsetting to me. Like,
that will go down in the history of some of the dumbest shit she's ever said, okay? She is now pissed because Chad Daybell did not kill his children along with Lori's. Well, I mean, Betty, that could have something to do with the fact that they're grown adults and they don't live at home. Now, she is gonna, as usual, she did not think before she spoke, and she is gonna do a little damage control, but it was hilarious. I rewound it and said, what the hell did she just say?
Like, if you're going to ask a lady to off her kids, why aren't you offering yours? I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want any kids. We can see how this is going to be spun by the hate channels, right?
No, Betty, we don't have to spin it at all. And I'm not a hate channel. Wait, am I a cockroach channel or a hate channel? No, I'm smarter than Betty channel. And, believe it or not, we have a few of them. Honest to God, like, this is the gift that is Betty. Oh, good Lord. Sorry for that unfortunate pause. I mean, listen, I'm sure, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm sure it was a miss. As with many things, she says, it was. Well, I think it was probably part Freudian slip, part slip of the tongue, part, and you know, oh God, it just was hilarious. And Betty, I mean, come on, she takes her, Betty, nobody takes you as seriously as you take you.
I don't want any kid being injured, period. I don't want any innocent child ever being injured whatsoever.
They're not children.
But my point is, why was it just her children, not his?
Well, I think
were they already adults and out of the home, and they just didn't want to deal with the young children? I mean, what was?
Did she just ask the question if they were adults? Did she just say, are they adults and out of the home? Wow, because yeah, Betty, everybody knows that. I'm not even following this case, but I do follow the news. Hey Tuesday, how you doing? Oh God, she is truly the gift.
What was the dynamic there? I'm curious. That was my first question, because all his children are standing up saying, I can't believe my father did this. I believe it was Lori Daybell. And I'm just the opposite. I'm thinking this guy saw this woman. She was just, what is it? Just enamored in.
Hot? I don't know, Betty. Hot. Like, did you see that? And I also do not think that. What did I tell you guys the other day? I told you that if you are a woman who cannot give another woman a compliment, that tells me how wildly insecure you are. And listen, I realized Lori Vallow Daybell, oh goodness, she has had a hard fall from grace. They do not have Botox in prison, which is one of the many reasons I never want to go there. But all kidding aside, did you see her? She could not. And listen, Lori Vallow, I hope they put her under the jail, okay? But that doesn't mean that she was a very pretty woman before prison had its way with her. But do you see that Betty she cannot say it. And it's very simple. That's the first thing that comes to the normal, well-adjusted mind was, well, yeah, she was hot and he fell under her spell. And they were both batshit crazy, in my opinion. But Betty can't do that. She cannot say something nice about another woman.
And obsessed with him. And I just feel like he used her as a weapon. I really do. Now, I don't know, because I'm watching the videos of them going into that storage unit and everything. Her faculties seem pretty freaking clear to me. I'm sorry that the courts believe that she's some kind of crazy lady, but I'm sorry. I'm watching her do all this stuff, and she looks pretty stinky.
So Betty thinks that because you can walk in a storage unit and come out with whatever they were, I think there were bicycles. There was a lot of shit in that storage unit. Betty, oh my God. It's just the shit she says.
Normal, and she seems like she knows what is going on.
What? How to put one foot in front of the other and get something out of a miniature garage inside of a concrete building?
My opinion, just my opinion. This is, how she acts when nobody thinks anybody's looking, right? And when do we get those? We get those in the CCTV footage when she doesn't think people are watching her. And we're watching her at how her mannerisms are, how her actions are. And she seems very determined on what she wants to do here. Very.
The kids were already disposed of, and she needed room in her car, I guess, her Durango, to move her shit into Chad's house. I don't know. But I don't know why Betty thinks that seeing the woman walking into a storage unit, unless she's referring to something else. I don't think she is.
Determined, but very conscious of her decisions. Very conscious of her decisions. That's just my opinion about it. Now, granted, the courts have
it's granted, not granted,
ruled on her mental capacity. She's obviously fit to stand trial. And she's there, even whether she wants to be or not. But this idea that I think she's completely crazy, yeah, I think she has definitely something wrong with her, as I do with most murderers. But do I think she's insane? I do not. I do not believe she's insane.
And yet another point of law that, well, Betty, I don't know if anybody's told Betty that there's the legal definition of insanity, and then there is the medical definition. But I think she's going to get into that here just briefly.
I do not, and the good news is Idaho does not recognize the insanity plea.
It's the insanity defense.
Thank God. And in very limited cases, I have to be honest with you. In very limited cases, have I ever seen anybody be successful with not guilty by reason of insanity. I seriously have it. You have to be crazy to the sense of the court's definition of crazy.
Oh, you mean Miss Legal Expert, Miss I'm educated in the law. You mean the legal definition of insanity? Is that what you mean? There's another thing. If you've watched her any length of time, more than 5 minutes, you'll pick up on when she starts getting flustered, because what she does is she's got this group of friggin' idiots in there every morning. Like, I'm sorry, I'm questioning your mental fitness if you think this is who's going to give you accurate information. All she does is read from the internet. Well, she kind of does what I'm doing, except in a very, very dumbed down version. But what she does when she gets a little, when her skis get a little out ahead of her too much and she's out of her depth, she will start repeating things and like stumbling or stammering. Yeah, I've noticed this is something that she does. Oh, the game show. That was Rodney Alcala, I think, the dating game killer. He was actually good looking back then.
In order for that to be successful, and many people aren't. Now, granted, I'm not saying they don't have mental issues, emotional issues, some kind of trauma that's affected them. That's not what I'm saying. I know that these things exist because that's typically the secret sauce in making these despicable people, right? This childhood trauma, these emotional needs. We talk about codependency all the time. Codependent behavior. Codependency is a very dangerous thing. Many of you guys that have never experienced codependency, you have no idea what codependency is. People think it's just needing to be with somebody. It's not needing to be with somebody or just yesterday at their church. And I just want to thank all the beautiful souls from the BullHorn Betty channel that chose to support the church as they were giving the message. What I like about that church is they got, amazing music that really speaks to you. Like their music speaks to you. Their music is almost,
Betty, I'm glad to hear that you're a fan of music, Pumpkin, but let's try and focus on the main course. The principles of, why you're supposedly in that building. I think it's lovely that you're inspired by the music, but my goodness, boy, these warm fuzzies, these warm religious warm fuzzies don't last long.
Church in and of itself, it speaks to you. And then you have your sermon. And what I like about it is it's typically not so boring. It's not them telling you just about the word of God. They're giving you examples, and they keep it light and funny and make it easy to digest and learn.
Is
And
this a
just
prison ministry by any chance? Oh,
really praise God. So
praise
I really,
God.
really enjoyed it. I'm very thankful for the coffee club members that came over there and got to go to church with Betty.
I have a question. Do you think that the coffee club members, do you think she like kind of told them that they could make a donation in her name on behalf of her channel? I would not be surprised. I mean, that is completely me. Amanda, welcome. I don't think I've seen you here before. Okay.
Right? It was fun. It was fun. I really did enjoy it. I'm glad everybody else enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button as you guys are coming in. I see we have almost 300 people in chat already. So don't forget to hit the like button. We haven't even, the good news is for the 300 people, we haven't even gotten started with our segment yet today. We've got a lot of stuff to cover over multiple cases.
I want to tell you
that are
something
shocking.
about this, something that's interesting about this thumbs up. I think in the next video, she's going to talk about it. But basically what she says is, oh, my mods, they've worked so hard. And I do not doubt I'd say they work harder than most mods with a channel that size. And here's a little inside baseball. And I've heard this from several people who are in a position to know. Well, while Betty's going to tell you how, oh, hit that thumbs up because it's not just, it's not for me. My mods like to see that. They, it makes them feel good to get recognition for a job well done. Well, let me tell you how I give people recognition for a job well done. Well, here's what I've been told by more than one person who's in a position to know. And they didn't just come out and tell me this. I was kind of like picking, asking questions. I said, at Christmas time, at any, especially Christmas, and all the other holidays, I said, did she give you guys gifts? Like a gift card, anything? Not a thing. Nothing. Believe it or don't, I do. And I mean, I don't know. I've told y'all before, I'm a big fan of unsolicited, gratuitous gifts. That's just me. Truly. I'm not going to say I've always been like that. I haven't always been in a position to be like that, but I have for a long time. And I can tell you that, I mean, Betty, I subscribe to the, I like to help give people that might not get a chance to know me on like a one-on-one. I'm talking people that do things for you, whether it's your seamstress, your dry cleaner, your housekeeper, whatever the case may be. People that well, she doesn't even pay her. She doesn't pay her people, but I just always like to have a, how did I put it? Kind of like the favor bank, we'll call it. Some people might say it's bribery. I don't think it's bribery. I think I like to, people that are good to me and that I want to show appreciation to, I give little tokens to. I give gifts. I give gift cards. Sometimes it's money, usually not. I mean, usually if it's someone who it is appropriate to tip, I throw them extra money. Well, I can tell you this, the last two girls that were assistants for me, this is how I treat people who help me out. And of course, and it's not just helping me out. Of course they were being paid, but If you showed up, if you were paid by the hour, and let's say you worked 4 hours and 15 minutes that day, I am of course going to pay you for 15. And if that number is like I'm a fan of even numbers. So I would add on to make it a number that I liked. That's just all that is to say. I have been told by several people who know that she never so much as gave not a Christmas gift, not a birthday gift, not a jack shit gift. One of the many differences between me and Benny.
Some that are going to shock you.
Oh, shock us.
We've got a lot of stuff to cover over multiple cases.
Oh,
Some that are shocking. Some
35.
that are going to shock you.
Oh, bring it back.
The options from this stuff here are
goodness,
going to be a raffle. Anybody can do the raffle. I'm not going to be selling because it was from money that was already raised for the coffee club. So these are going to be free drawings for whoever will participate, right?
What is this raffle bullshit? If all she really wants to do is give away free stuff, I don't know. I say, hey, in the chat, pick a number between 1 and whatever. And whoever gets the closest to that number, go ahead and if you would like this t-shirt valued at $3.27, well, go ahead and give me all your information and I'll send it to you free of charge. Like, what is this raffle shit? Oh, some people think it's just to get your information.
We're going to get some of these things off to people out there. Granted, we still have to pay for the shipping and stuff like that, but I'll cover that. Like,
oh my God, like Betty, what? Yeah, like you're giving them a kidney.
Like I said, we did an amazing job for the kids at St. Joseph, and I just want to spread the joy. That's all I want to do.
Okay, here we are.
So don't forget to hit the thumbs up as you guys.
Timestamp. 35 minutes and 39 seconds. She just wants to spread the joy. Hold on.
They're coming in. I'm going to go ahead and move that over there. I would say drama free, but I've already drama up just a little bit this morning over the Duty Ron stuff, which I don't, many of you guys know. I used to like Duty Ron. I always.
Woo! We got about 13 seconds after her last statement about spreading the joy. Here we go. Part duh.
Just talked about him on here. But he lets too many people in his ears and he does no research on the facts before he opens his trap. And I have a problem with that. I have a huge problem.
Guess what? You don't do any research before you open your trap. And all of us have a problem with that. But just like Duty Ron, I don't know the man, but I'm going to just go out on a limb here and say that he also does not give a shit what you think. He didn't need to have people in his ears tattletaling on Betty, because Betty, all of YouTube knows when you're not busy being the Krama Dalai Lama. Where's my damn Tibetan song bowl? I can't do it. I don't know. I might have to do it. Betty, everybody knows that you do no research. You are wrong more than you're right. And your reputation precedes you. So, it's just
that, especially you stating that you're, law enforcement. We know that that's a big no-no in law enforcement. Why do we know that? Because I deal with
y'all have heard that expression. Oh, God,
sheriffs all the time. You can have your words, but get your facts straight. Get your facts straight, because we all make mistakes. Like you, Duty Ron, when you unmuted yourself.
Please refer back to what I said when we started about her mentality being that of about a 12-year-old.
In a court proceeding, don't forget, everybody makes mistakes on here. Everybody.
Yeah,
but right. That's okay. That's okay. I didn't come out with a big...
You are one of the few who is utterly unable to acknowledge any wrongdoing or fault. It is always someone else being mean to Betty. God, I can't imagine, why are people mean to you? You're such a sweet woman.
Big horrible video about you and your disruption of.
Who made a big horrible video about her? Betty, you may not know this, but Judy Ron and donations to his channel helped fund billboards out in California for those 2 little boys to be found. Okay. So he has a vested interest in this. Unlike you, who it's just another grift. They are just something to make your cash register go cha-ching. So, and if you think that is some, whatever the fuck she said. Oh, girl, my goodness, don't ever watch my channel. You'll be institutionalized.
Court proceeding. Didn't do that. But believe me, maybe I should. Maybe I should put your.
Oh, Betty, were you down at 9/11 digging bodies out of the rubble? Were you there? Yeah, probably not. Okay. Shut the fuck up.
It sees on front and center to everybody on YouTube as well. You know, what's good for the
can
goose
make
and
you
all,
drop
and
the
those that live
F-bomb
in
like
glass
that.
houses and stuff like that, you know.
Stuff like
But
that.
just to set the record straight.
Oh, just the record straight.
Yeah, we don't. I could care less whether I'm on Duty Ron's show or any other of those.
Oh, that's good,
platforms,
because
just
you
to move
never
over to a
have
platform.
been on, unless I am mistaken. And you're never going to be on. I do not believe she would have ever been invited on his channel, because when he doesn't have to say drama-free zone and then proceed to behave like your average 12-year-old boy, when you do the opposite. So yeah, it's just understood that that's a serious channel with, you know, another thing you don't have, Betty, law enforcement. Well, you do have some law enforcement. Well, you've got quite a bit of law enforcement history, but not on the right side of the handcuffs. Oh, yes, Earth. You'll have to ask Hondo, because he's my first client, and you know, I have to give him, he gets first shot at my appointments. So you guys work it out.
Channel anyways, if he's going to let all those people get in his ear and talk crap without doing even the slightest scintilla
How does she know this?
Fact finding or finding out whether that information
we
is
all
true.
know that it's utter idiocy what she's saying, but what is it that makes her think she knows that he didn't do any research? I keep telling her reputation
for correct. So kudos to you, Duty Ron, for being an idiot. So the week is starting out with Duty Ron getting the certificate.
Can y'all tell me, what did that remind you of? You know what it reminded me of? Do you remember back in the day? Well, if you're older, do you remember those little monkey toys? It was a monkey, and it had little symbols in its hands. And when you wound the thing, it did that. When I saw her do that, that was the first thing that came to my mind was, my God, she is the clapping monkey with the symbols.
Pit of idiocy from the BullHorn Betty channel this week. So
she gave him the something of idiocy. Well, that is very rich. Well, Betty, I know it. My goodness, Betty is you know, kind of like when there's when Miss America or Miss Universe, whatever the hell it is these days. Well, you know how when her reign is over and she comes up to crown the next contestant, I guess BullHorn Betty is usually the one in possession of the Idiot of the Week award. So she thinks she's going to pass the crown on to Judy Ron. Can y'all imagine? He's way too classy and professional to do it on camera. Can you imagine what they say about this shit? Betty, you know why Duty Ron doesn't care what you have to say? I think I told you this before. He has spent a decades long career dealing with criminals. That's why he doesn't give a shit what you have to say about him. Not that I'm speaking for Duty Ron.
Go back and tag him in that if
Oh,
you need
please,
to.
yes,
But don't worry,
tag
if you
him.
don't need to, I've already tagged him in
No, nobody's
to
ever
this
tagged
live,
you.
with the at Duty Ron.
That's a lot of your problem.
So if you haven't heard me
Somebody
loud
did
enough,
tag
Duty
you,
Ron,
you might be a
listen to me
nicer
now.
person.
I could care less.
Oh my God!
You know,
guys, my
if
sciatic
you
nerve
didn't make
hurts so bad,
mistakes,
I have to stand
then
up.
it would be one thing. But we all know everybody is imperfect and everybody makes mistakes.
Oh,
That's okay.
Excuse me.
That's okay. We'll be
You
watching for
have
yours.
never extended 1 second of grace to anybody. So Betty, put a sock in it.
And we'll make sure it's on front and center. And we'll put your face on a thumbnail and everything, right?
Yeah,
thumbnail
great.
and everything.
Oh, perfect.
Talking about your deficiencies.
Yeah, you can get your
It's on a
overworked
thumbnail and
bod
everything,
so you
right?
can't even buy
Thumbnail
a
and
fucking
everything. Talking about your
Subway
deficiencies
gift card at Christmas
and
time.
defects.
Ask him to do a little more work for you. I'm sure.
Getting back to what we're here for,
Oh,
we're
yeah,
gonna go ahead and
what are we
start
here
into
for?
our program. Many of you guys
we're
know
done with this.
that in Glenn County, I was just
Okay, let's see here. Oh, there is a comical moment where she talks about how she used to work in the mortgage industry. It's like, oh yeah, is that when you were creating the fake W-2s? That time you worked in the mortgage industry? Yeah, we remember. I'm trying to see if I want to skip those and go. I think we should. I had a couple more points here, and I'll tell you what one of them is. Just in fairness to her, because I did tell you that I watched. Let me see how long it is. It's like 4. Oh, actually, it's more. Okay, basically, Betty talks about when she was kind of her life growing up. And she says, which I do not find hard to believe at all, she talks about how her mother was an abused woman. She says that her mom took the brunt of the abuse from her father in the house. I mean, okay, I've no reason. Well, I was going to say I have no reason not to believe that, but you know what? I'm going to play this just because I feel like it wouldn't be fair for me not to. And you tell me. We're not going to play all of it because I'm not giving Betty a 7-minute infomercial on here. But I think it might, especially for people who have never heard any other side of her besides mean, angry, hateful, vindictive, foaming at the mouth, crazy woman. I'm going to play a few minutes of it. And then you tell me if what I got from it is, I think it does explain a little bit about why she is the way she is. And I will say, I definitely, I believe a lot of it. If anything, I think she kind of glosses over. She wants it. I just feel like if you're in a home with a father who is very abusive physically to the mother, she says that she was only verbally. I don't know that I believe that, but it doesn't really matter. And just out of fairness, because I say a lot of shit about her, so I am going to play it for a few minutes. And then you all tell me. Oh, let's see. What is the mark? Okay. 137.
mom is now pleading guilty, but it sounds like it was Dakota that the child. And I myself, I myself, have gone through years of battery. I can tell you that my mom has as well. And I can tell you personally that my mom took a lot of the brunt of whatever happened in our house as opposed to us kids. Some of the stuff that we witnessed inside the home was awful, but my mom took it. My mom's the one that stuck up. We didn't. Um, we were emotionally and verbally assaulted. We did, have excessive corporal punishment at times, you know, but my mom always seemed to have, always made sure she was the brunt of whatever punishment that ever was dealt out. I guarantee if my father had done stuff to us, beat us, or my mother would have left. It was just her. I don't know. She felt stuck or whatever. God bless my mom. God bless my father too. My father, a lot of people don't realize he was, he did better than his family did. And that's all that could be expected. I love my dad. It's just that, he has a lot of stuff that he's never dealt with himself. I don't know if he's dealt with it now or not. He swings by here once in a while to say hi. Again, I love my dad. I don't want people to misunderstand when I talk. I do believe that my dad did the best he could. That's all that's expected. It doesn't mean that it was any less horrific. I'm glad he took care of us. He didn't leave us like his family left him. We never went into foster care. We never wanted for nothing. My father did an amazing job. He did break the cycle for us. It was just a horrific living environment.
In that way. All right. We don't need to listen to that. That's the bulk, and it goes on for a few more minutes, but it's pretty much in that vein. So, I believe a lot of what she says. I do. I think it explains why. I think there is one other place here where she's, basically telling any victim, well, just get out. Your feet are what your feet work, go. It starts with you. For Betty, it was, it was nicer than anything else I've ever heard her say. But what I found so, like, for someone who's been through it, she didn't give a lot of, it wasn't like a pep talk. It was kind of like all things she does. I think, and there is a point where she says, don't you think I'm lonely? I'm very lonely. And I believe she is. She said, I don't have a dog. I don't have, of course, she gave him away. I don't have kids. I don't have grandkids. So I do believe that. I believe she is lonely. But Betty, girl, you're going to be alone the rest of your life. Put that book down. It is not working. At the very least, get it on Audible and listen to it. But Betty, you can't DIY everything. Your hair is a perfect example of that. And you should not be DIYing your own therapy. I will start the first donation for your mental health fund. And I'm like not even kidding. Well, I am about that. But I think if she could get some help for her, obviously, myriad of issues, but she's so angry. And she's always going to be alone and I think I think because she doesn't have a lot of the things that the rest of us have, and that makes her angry. And unfortunately, she finds people, she'll tell you that she's a victim's advocate. I'm telling you right now, I'm not a victim's advocate. I don't know any. But I know this, there is not one. Hell, there isn't a human who would have done what you did to Sarah Dreyer's family and all the other families that she's hurt. So I think what she does, she finds people that I think she feels like she can be powerful. Like she tells these people, oh, I'm an advocate. I'm a world famous YouTuber. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I don't think you have to be to know that this is a woman who I don't know. It's just it's sad. I mean, it is. I feel, because I've said this a million times about her and other people. Oh, who said? Yeah, that's both channel. I am. I'm like, that's just a nickname my family calls me. Zha Zha. What the hell was I saying? Shit, I don't remember. But they always say, hurt people hurt people. Oh, I know what it was. I've said a million times about her. She has zero. She's wildly insecure. Has obviously massive feelings of being inadequate. And people who do not have any agency in their own life, they do this kind of thing. They have a pretend job, because Betty, this isn't a job. You are not a victim's advocate. You are not a child advocate. You are not a legal professional. And I also feel like if she would get, hey, Queen Ashley, how are you? If she would get a real job, listen, everybody in this world needs something to make them feel significant. Everybody needs a purpose. And I think that she thinks this is her purpose, but this is the furthest thing from her purpose. What it is her bully pulpit, that she has found that by screaming over you and stamping her foot, and because BullHorn Betty says so, and I want this and I want that. The way she talks about these cases is very juvenile. I mean, this is a woman that wants to tell you she's got a legal education. I hear she took that school off her resume. I'll tell you this. I don't know any educated person that thinks like her, speaks like her, behaves like her. How can you say that you are a legal professional, yet you cannot understand the wheels of justice turn very slowly? The system is bogged down because there's lots of dirtbags jamming it up. It sucks, but what you don't do is go on YouTube rants where you're accusing, well, let's just let Betty say it. I don't think there was anything else. Oh, if we have time, we'll go back to the Summer Wells. where she's so proud of herself because she last year at the what I don't even know what you would call it. I guess not a memorial. It was a remembrance kind of. It was something to mark the 1 year anniversary of being missing. And Betty is still patting herself on the back for taking the used cake to law enforcement. And why was there a bunch of cake left, you ask? Well, because she is so widely despised amongst her colleagues or peers here on YouTube that when she first, well, her first genius party planning skills told her that only people that were monetized and had channels at a certain number of subs were going to be allowed to speak. Well, as you can imagine, that didn't go over too well. And people said, get fucked, Betty. And I think that is no small part of why many people, myself included, who would have loved to have gone if it had been a normal gathering and I didn't, you didn't have to feel like, oh, Jesus, you were going to have to, be ducking stray, ricochets from, well, that was the one Ernie Shell was going to, helicopter rappel into. Yeah. I think once we had, Battery Betty here, as Burnt Toast calls her, once she gave her edict about who was going to be allowed to speak, and then Ernie Shell decided to make it some kind of like, the A-Team reunion where he was going to rappel right on in, like a la Las Vegas style. Yeah. I mean, his broke ass couldn't rent a car, never mind a helicopter and the rhinestone Elvis suit to go with it. Yeah, it was probably at that point that people who would have otherwise gone said, oh, yeah, no, thanks, pass. And what happened was people did their own, factions broke off. And it was like this group of creators who were friendly said, okay, let's all get together. And people went so far as to keep it hush hush. And Betty will, it was all the haters who wanted to ruin it. Betty made it about her, like she makes everything about. And the reason she makes everything about her is because she is still a wounded, issue-riddled little girl who resides in a 40-some-odd-year-old woman's head. I mean, God, that little girl in there is, the bleach alone has caused her trauma. And yeah, so when the big day rolled around, and hello, I know I get a lot of shit for being, mean to Betty. No, I just hold a mirror up to Betty. But I said when it happened that I didn't have anything, I had nothing negative to say about it. And except what I did say that I thought was absolutely absurd and shitty. And like, who does this? Like so many things that should go left unsaid. She came on YouTube and still to this day, she talks about it in this video. She's still patting herself on the back for taking the leftover cake because apparently she had ordered cake for, I guess, all the people that she thought were going to be there. And my couple observations were, number one, I thought it was sad. I thought it was sad that her event was not, it was pitiful. I mean, there might have been, I mean, my guess is if 20 people showed up, I would be surprised. But it was very sparsely attended, and that's because of her, not because of that baby. So I did remark on that, and the only other thing I said that I thought was really ridiculous was the cake. She took the leftover cake into the police department. My goodness, I'm sure that, you know, they were, oh yeah, she said, oh, they were so happy to get it. Yeah, Betty, they threw that shit in the garbage before your car even warmed up and you pulled out of the parking lot. I mean, would you eat used cake? And I remember remarking at the time that, you know, she kept saying, oh yeah, we appreciated law enforcement so much. Well then, Betty, why didn't you just go ahead and order a smaller cake or some cupcakes or maybe a couple dozen cookies? Hell, you could have bought a dozen cookies at Sam's and put them in a cardboard pretty box. You know, you can buy those at Target and anywhere really. So she's talking about, you know, this year's, but it wouldn't be any better attended. And I just thought it was sad for Summer. Hi, Allie. I agree. Percy says, you know what? Yeah, the gloves are off. I'm glad it was horrible. Oh God. There were, I mean, how many? I know there were at least 2 or 3 other groups that got together. But it's a shame that people could not have gone to one event, but that's due to her. And part of it, you know, was her, I'm sure, her maniacal need for control and to make all the decisions. Okay. Oh. All right, we're just going to look at, we'll go like 15 more minutes. Okay, on to the next video titled, is it day 10? Is that what? Yes, here it is. Okay.
Wake up early.
Okay, let's see. We're going to go to 10 minutes and 31 seconds in. Let me find it. Oh, damn it. Okay, here we go.
Today, I got a house yesterday. Harley was a very brave young girl. But before we get too far into all of that, I want to make sure that I say good morning to everybody. I'm not going to go through the list and say good morning individually because we do have an extensive amount of stuff to go over. We are not only covering the Stout case, we're still, you know, monitoring the Trenton Lair camp.
Okay.
We got some good information.
His name is fucking Trent Laircamp. My God. See, this is what pisses me off. She is gonna light into, I think it's the prosecutor. I didn't even follow this case, okay? I know the bare bones about the case. He's 18 years old. He was with a group of kids. I don't know how great of friends they were. Obviously, they were not, because they did everybody was drinking. He was incredibly intoxicated, and it is very similar to like a hazing is what happened, okay? And I am not unsympathetic to that at all. I have a family friend who lost their only son in a college hazing, alcohol related, dead, okay? I have nothing but sympathy for that boy and his family. My understanding is, I guess they're not going to be prosecuting. it is very unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that. I know the family is not happy about it. And of course they're not. This one right here, she goes to her go-to, which is corruption. They're corrupt. Betty hates. Now make this make sense, okay? Here you go, Miss Trumper. You know what's interesting? I've told you guys this before. And so I'm sure at some point I'll say what it is, because, you know, at some point I'm not going to say it now because it would dox me. But there is a Trump. There is a connection in my family to Donald Trump. It is not a relation. No. But there is a, believe me when I tell you, there is a connection. And if she had that, oh Jesus, you'd hear about it every day of your life. But so here you go, Miss Trumper. Obviously a very far right, very conservative Republican here. But she hates rich people. Has anybody told her that? Well, you know, the old saying is everybody's a Democrat until they get old. And then you're a Republican. Everybody's a Democrat until you have to start writing, you know, big tax checks. She rails against rich people. She doesn't know a fucking thing about these kids, okay? I keep hearing St. Simon Island being thrown around. I am not familiar with St. Simon Island. What I am familiar with is Sea Island in Georgia, which is an absolutely very swanky, it's a gated island, if you can understand that one. It's so if this St. Simon is similar to that, she of course is screaming, it's corruption, they're rich. So she has no fucking idea of any of this. Oh, Liza, do you want to hear the bowl? Okay. Now that I'm standing up, it's easy for me to get to it. Yeah, and since we are talking about the Krama Dalai Lama, that's my new name for her. We need to make that hashtag go. Make that hashtag go, along with SCORNED Betty, because that's what I've been calling her. Betty needs some. Betty, girl, we're going to hit it for you again. Do you know that this bowl, you can actually make this bowl, you can play songs with this and this. I can't. I'm a damn idiot. All I do is just smack the thing. But if you know how to do it, that's why it's called a Tibetan song bowl, because it will actually, you can make oh, Tuesday, you like it? God, I had no idea my Tibetan song bowl was so popular. Do you guys want another one? I think I should make this a gimmick. Every time I'm going to say, fuck. Oh, I'll keep it out of my desk. Yes, because I can't keep doing friggin' headstands to get that thing. Yeah, so, you know, Betty is incensed that Trent Lair Camp is not getting justice because the kids' families are rich. They apparently, for Betty, it's a crime to have a family business that you've had for decades. I mean, do you see the dichotomy here that I'm always talking about with her? That she, like most things, she's a poser, okay? You cannot call yourself a Trumper or whatever the hell she calls herself. Do you know what you would have to give me to go to a political rally? and hold a flag. Well, it's probably going to have 2 handles and a dust bag. And it's probably going to say Chanel. I am not doing it for less than a Chanel bag, which means like it ain't happening. Okay. No, it's hot in Florida. It's who does this? How do you're like, you're riding hard for Donald Trump. You are rolling deep for Donald Trump, but you are against people who have legacy businesses. Oh, I heard a buzzword, generational wealth. I'm not gonna say the really mean thing I'm thinking. But she's a Trumper. No, she's a poser. She is a poser. So she's a big political, oh God, she's the idiot they painted. She's the dumbass that for, an extra large coffee and a free Donald Trump t-shirt that says Front Row Joe and a flag hat, she's the one who will stand in the median when it's 287 degrees out in Florida. Half the people are flipping you off while the other half are. So she's that, but she hates people with money. She doesn't like people with influence. Bitch, most people work their whole effing life to have influence. And if you happen to be lucky enough to, some people call it the Lucky Sperm Club. I mean, that's not a crime. And by the way, Betty, those are a lot of the members of the right, the far right. I'm not talking oh God. I'm talking the old people like my parents. Sorry, Mom. She's not listening. My mom still will ask me like, every couple months, are you still doing that YouTube thing? I'm like, yeah, Mom, remember I told you, if any nut jobs, if they call you, if they email you. Betty would very much hate. Well, Betty won't get a chance to tell my family how much she hates them because she won't get past the guard gate. Yeah, but she would hate my family like, oh no, that would be no. So on one hand, she's an ultra conservative. She's so conservative, she's going to go to TPAC. Now, TPAC, you might get me to go. I'm sorry, CPAC. Oh, you know why I said TPAC? Because that was a screen name that for quite a while, Betty apparently thought that meant Trump Political Action Committee, kind of like Conservative Political Action Committee. The rally she went to. Yeah, no, it was just a troll. Took her a while to catch on, and oh boy, she was pissed when she did. But CPAC, you might get me there for I don't know. There's a new Louis Vuitton bag I really liked, the one with the giant logo. Yeah, I know. I'm channeling my inner Molly Golightly. What can I tell you? Because that's in the air conditioning, and at least there's a very nice hotel in DC. So like that, I could get down with, but you're still going to pay all my expenses. So she'll go there. And Betty, by the way, you do know that a lot of people will tell you that the CPAC, well, those super PACs, those are done so that very rich people can contribute a shit ton of money, like well in excess of campaign finance laws and what they allow. You see this? I'm not even into politics and I know more than her. So how is she? You see what I mean by a poser? Everything about her is a poser, except she is definitely not a hairdresser. No, nobody's going to think she's a undercover poser hairdresser. That is quite apparent. But it just goes back to she everything about her is just a facade. It's just, she's a poser because it gets her what she wants, which is eyes on her, attention. Listen, it takes a certain kind of person to want attention so badly that you'll get it in the way she does. And I mean, I'm not trying to be mean. But that's her. That is true, Tuesday. Yeah, she has nothing, but she is going to lay into this prosecutor. And I totally understand. She, put it this way, she has come out publicly with more like rabid dog foaming at the mouth ire, which is really just it's a Betty temper tantrum is what it is. When what an adult does, especially one who says she's a legal professional, because there are lots of things about the system that we don't like. And I say we because I have a real legal education, unlike what I think Betty has. And the family, I could see the family coming out and speaking as she did, because it's their child. But let's remember, thank God the kid's alive. That's the most important thing. But Betty, Betty's decided that that's going to be one of her crusades. And she just, like a child, she is making the most heinous things that you can say to a public official and one who's a lawyer, especially the district attorney. Betty, here is the brass tacks. I bet the prosecutor hated to not be able to prosecute this case. I don't know enough about it to opine on the evidence. But what I will say is prosecutors, they have bosses too. They do not prosecute cases that they do not feel. I don't know what the percentage is, but if I had to guess, I would say maybe 90%. Every budget for every county in this country is constrained. And they don't prosecute cases that they don't think they have the evidence to support the charge. It doesn't mean that, oh, well, it's because he's, now listen, I'm not saying that there's no chance. We all know it would be Pollyanna to say that. I very much believe there are two systems of justice. And I'm speaking about when you get to trials, but not between races, but this. And I'm sorry. The reality is this is the great equalizer. I mean, that's not the right term, but all I'm saying is we all know that if you can pay for the finest defense that money can buy, well, you probably are going to get a better outcome than someone who has to rely on a public defender. That doesn't mean that everybody's corrupt and the whole system and we got to burn it to the ground. No, it's just the very unfortunate result of having the system we have. Betty wants us to live under like a Fidel Castro type of system where we know who's guilty because, Betty's got like x-ray vision. She can just look at them and she knows they're guilty. Proof needs proof. No. So you've got your far right Republican who hates rich people. And she does this case with this boy. This isn't the first time she said dumb shit like this. And you've got your legal professional who cannot seem to understand. Doesn't mean listen, if you don't think that people who work within this system every single day don't have cases, don't have days where they're, oh my God, I hate this. This is blah, blah, blah. Everybody has that. But for her, it is a mindset. She has a very juvenile mindset. She just does. She's the most immature woman. Oh, who said? Yes, the board meetings, all that. That is Betty's power. Not because Betty is so unfulfilled inside and so inadequate. This is how control is what she thinks gives her power. When all of this shit she does really just makes her look like a damn fool. But in her mind, it's power. She can go up to that lectern at a school board meeting where she doesn't have kids who go there, even where her tax dollars are not funding. And yes, I do know, because I had someone reach out to me quite a while back and said, she comes to my school board meetings and she doesn't even pay taxes in this district. It's her power. And she has found a way on YouTube to get people who are in a vulnerable position. I mean, you think about it. If you didn't know her and she was wearing a baseball hat, or she had that hair back, and you had a missing loved one, if you're desperate, you're going to take whatever you can get. And I think that's what she does. I think she attaches to people who are in vulnerable positions, and she's got this whole fake persona of who she thinks she is, who she would like to be. But being all those things you would like to be, you don't just get to do this and say, because believe me, if you could, well, tomorrow I might be a plastic surgeon. I might be a Supreme Court judge next week. I'm going to live in Jamie Chua's closet on the third week. I mean, it's very juvenile, her thinking. It's not, and it doesn't help that she's got this group of idiots who sit in her chat and watch her read. That's all she does. She reads off the internet and plays really bad commentary. Do you think, Betty? Listen, here's the great irony of this. I have talked about the cases that she's entrenched in. She's actually gotten in her car and gone there. I don't know anything more than she knows. Of course, she would tell you otherwise. But I don't know anything more than the little bit I have seen on the news and on, a real serious legal channel on YouTube. She knows, I know, I've paid very little attention. Not because I don't care, but because we're all busy and I got enough on my plate. I'm not trying to be, Betty. But the irony is, I have talked more intelligently, longer, and without reading anything. And I've given you the rundown on what she's talked about. Do you think she could do that? Do you think she could talk for 2 hours like I am? No way in hell. No. And I have a lot smarter people that follow me. Stupid people, they don't tend to like me very much. I try and do them a favor early on. I try and weed them out with big words.
And we're still monitoring the Maddie Kingsbury case, which we're getting in. We're also, discussing Michael Monkey Vaughn and the updates with Sarah Wandra, as well as the Idaho 4 and some updates on Alec Murdaugh. That's all going to be this segment this morning about our discussion. So good morning, everybody. It's great to see you. We have almost 200 people in the chat.
We already did oh my God. See, I've been droning on so long, I forgot that I paused because she pronounced his name wrong. Do you know how many times I've heard her call him Trenton Laircamp? She doesn't even care enough to get the fucking name right. And I mean, some people might not think that's a big deal. I think it's a huge deal. I think it is major disrespect, and I think it shows her for the poser that she is. Oh, yeah, she's always monitoring Liza. Okay, we're going to watch just a little bit of the presser. The sound is terrible. If you want to see, because I've been going on almost 2 hours and 10 minutes. If you want to see a great commentary on the presser that she's getting ready to like lose her mind over, headstones and headlines, I will. You know who you are that sent me that text, and I will. Yeah. I mean, listen, I've taken it easy on her here today. I haven't drug her too bad about her appearance, but all joking aside, come on. This is not someone to be taken seriously. She doesn't take herself seriously. She wants to do a lot of yelling at you and tell you she's this and she's that, but she doesn't even care enough to get out of bed in the morning. And my God, Betty, I mean, could you put it down something on that, like, I don't know, do you ever wear anything that has a button, zippers, or snaps? I mean, even if it was like an oversized, men's button, like, because I sleep in my husband sometimes, like just a dress, like he's got a lot of, too many, like button-down dress shirts. And when he gets new ones, before they go to the donation, I'm like, oh no, I'll keep that one. And I sleep in them. Even if she wore something like that, I'm not asking her to get up and put on a full beat. I mean, that's never going to happen. But my God, I mean, put a friggin' baseball hat on. I would tell her to put her hair in a pony, but I'm afraid it would just, that would be all she wrote. But you're never going to convince me. I mean, it defies logic. It just defies logic. You find me anyone that's a professional, even Mark Zuckerberg, okay? His hoodies are clean. He looks better than her. And God knows he looks like an adolescent boy. But, when you've got 27 zeros in your checking account. But I mean, truly, you tell me one serious person or accomplished person who looks like this, who this is your calling card to the world. You won't. I mean, well, if you do, I'll apologize. I'll eat my words and I'll apologize. My parents have had the same housekeeper for, well, she's older than my son. And I can promise you, she looks 1,000 times. To come and clean, she's dressed 1,000 times better than Betty. And she's not rolling up in a ball gown, okay? but she has pride about herself. I mean, I don't get it. I'll never get it. I don't. And you know what? I just use my life experience. That's all. I use what my life experience tells me, and so does everybody else. Did I tell you headstones and headlines? If you want to hear commentary on this whole presser, because I can't do it all. The dog's whining, and I'm tired. My sciatic nerve is hurting. But we're going to listen to a few minutes of it, and very conveniently, the sound is almost unintelligible on her end on the presser until she gets to the guy she really wants to rip into, and then you know, the angels come out with the trumpets, and you can hear crystal clear. Okay, so that is 39 minutes in. Okay, just remember, this is not the first
Here.
I up it back.
And I'll do as I damn well please. Many of you guys know. And I never said I was airing their trial. So stay off my channel. Go back to where you came from. We don't want your kind over here.
Oh, cockroaches.
So this is the chief of police right here. And you can look at the disdain on his face as he's telling this, as if Trenton's life was somewhere.
I see a man who looks like he'd rather be doing anything in the world than getting up there and saying what he's going to say. That's what I see.
Lower than what their police department should or should not be doing. He talks calmly, but I'm going to tell you, his comments weren't taken very favorably by me. And I'm going to explain that after we hear what he has to say. We're going to pause and have a discussion about it.
Oh, I'm like Jeannie.
The object of all legal investigation is the discovery of the truth.
Yeah, the sound is all the way up. It's her dumbass couldn't figure out how to work it.
And leave no stone left unturned. The Glenn County Police Department has conducted such an investigation in this case. The length of time that the investigation has taken has been in large part due to all of the misinformation that has been put out on social media in particular.
It's very hard to hear, but if you believe word on the YouTube street, he said that in large part what made this investigation so difficult was all the misinformation from social media. Amanda, girl, I can't believe you brought that demon seed into my chat. You are so right. Do you know how many videos I've watched of that guy? He is Betty's male counterpart. Amanda's comment says, if you have time and you want to meet Betty, well, this is my spin on her chat, in my words. If y'all want to meet Betty's male counterpart, look up Jeremy DeWitt. He's better known as the fake cop in Florida. He's Betty's male counterpart. Yeah, he only in his little crazy mind, metaphor, that I don't mean that for real. He just seems, I meant festive. In his festive mind up here, yeah, he thinks he's got the authority to pull people over when he's doing funeral escorts. Yes. Oh my goodness. If I tell you what, if you think you hate Betty, well, good Lord. You don't want to meet Jeremy. Yeah. He's done several stints in jail. Yeah, Florida, we're not a fan of Jeremy.
With the assistance of the GBI, all witnesses were interviewed. The data from all cell phones were downloaded. All of Trenton Learcamp's medical records were obtained. search warrants were executed, and it was determined what forensic testing, if any, could be conducted by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. Although I'm typically not allowed to talk about the details of any pending case, I am allowed to speak
Conspiracy.
to address
It's the rich
incorrect
people.
misinformation that has been widely publicized.
I can barely
And before
hear
we
you.
get into this misinformation, I do want to let, and because we know we got cockroaches in here,
Cease and desist.
I do want to let the cockroaches know that all this misinformation was pre-Bullhorn Betty getting involved in this case. And
I
the
doubt it.
only misinformation that I provided was that of the medical personnel at the hospital. And it was related to the urination of him, which this police chief explains. So far, Bullhorn.
Okay, Betty. Y'all, it goes on in that vein. I've had enough of this stupid bitch. Like, I'm done. I can only spend so much time with our feathered friend, Betty. Yeah, so there you have it. If you want to listen to the presser, well, not that you would listen to it on Betty's channel anyway, because she's an idiot who couldn't figure out how to get the. It's very interesting though how she comes through loud and clear, but she couldn't seem to figure out how to get the sound working on that. Yeah, because maybe it didn't fit her narrative. But just know this: Betty never brings anything productive to the table. I would be willing to go out on a limb and state that there is no law enforcement agency in this country who's ever dealt with her who would have anything positive to say about her. And if I'm wrong, prove me wrong, Betty. You know, if you're such a, oh my God, if you're so helpful with all your investigation skills, it's like these people can't seem to understand that just because you know your way around a jail cell and you know your way around a courtroom as a defendant or a litigant, well, that doesn't. Can you imagine what it's got to be like to have some stupid, nasty bitch roll up and tell you everything you're doing wrong? And then she goes, and I would imagine, here's what I'm hoping is going to keep happening. I've been told by multiple people that there is well, Betty loves a binder. Well, my understanding is there is a binder that is kind of like this is my little dossier. Yeah, well, this binder is like my dossier, and it's kind of like an introduction to Tragedy Pimps Inc. Yes, and I feel pretty confident in saying that, and I have nothing to do with the binder. I do not. I kind of wish it had been my idea. I fully support it, and I'm very glad to hear. And I think it's going to keep happening every time they show up on the scene. Law enforcement, even if the binder wasn't out there, which it is, and there's a very dedicated creator on here who is seeing to it that anywhere they go to interfere, that binder is going to, well, hopefully the binder is going to be there before they get there, just so law enforcement has a little time to, do their reconnaissance work. Betty, do you know what that is? Do you do recon? Can you spell it? I doubt it. Well, she might be able to spell recon. I guarantee you she can't spell reconnaissance. Yeah, so I think that's what's going to be happening. I think the binder will hopefully get there before them. If not, it'll be there. Well, her lawn chair won't have time to get dug in on somebody else's lawn that doesn't want it there. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean the public easement. Because, you know, she's very much about semantics. Yeah, so there'll be that. And I think depending on how bad she's pissed off the last law enforcement, where she graced their doorstep with all her brilliant legal knowledge and public relations work. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure Chief Hadley hates that bitch's guts. I mean, I would. And I'm pretty sure that even though the binder was delivered, come on now. Do we not think that Chief Hadley found out that her big broken off haired big ass was going down there? And you don't think he picked up the phone and said, "Hey, let me just clue you in on what's heading your way, the rabid, ugly hurricane heading your way. Yeah. Just so you can be prepared, because preparedness is how you survive these things. Yeah. It's this tragedy pimping thing. It's not going to last forever. So between all the law enforcement agencies that they've pissed off, and all the good people of YouTube who are sick of it, they're tired of it, and their strength in numbers. So I think it's just, hopefully, it's going to be in its last legs. All the bitches on the blade, yeah, they're getting old. These pimps are gonna need to retire. Nobody pimps forever. So I hope that's what's going to be happening. And until it does, well, we'll be here to stand on their neck. That's all I got. Oh, look at this. Remember I told you I was getting all that Jeffree Star lipstick? How cute is that? I ordered like 10 tubes, and all the dark pink ones. This is the one I have on. They came. It's a bullet. It's hard to see. Can you see? So the dark colors come in that color bullet, and then the light ones are like, oh, it's like a real pretty light pink. Oh, it's kind of like the color of the little duck. Okay, you guys, I'm so tired and I'm hungry. Well, Joneson, I mean, she's got to throw some kind of bait out there. No, it did not. Yeah, I would like to see that. I want to see. Tell the rest of the class how we get to see it. Oh my God. Oh, wait, chess. Betty can't play chess. Betty can barely play damn tiddlywinks. Binder. God, I mean, for God's sake, you would think that damn Binder Gate alone would have had her slinking away in shame. How many times can you get busted for being an absolute bullshit artist? Like, she is kind of like the damn Energizer Bunny of no pride. Like, kind of like that weird, disturbing symbol monkey thing she was doing. All right, kids. What's today? Wednesday. I may depending on what transpires in the next like 24 hours, no, 12 hours. I don't plan on coming on tomorrow, but I might. We'll see, because I am definitely if I come on tomorrow, that'll be it until Monday or Tuesday, because I have to going out of town on Friday for this coronation. It'll be nice. I'm actually looking forward to it, but it's just been, oh my God. The damn UPS driver, he's like, gosh, shit, is this wedding, like, lady, is she ever going to quit with the dresses? Cross your fingers that that pink one, that's the one I want to wear. So cross your fingers that it fits and that it's dressy enough. All right, guys. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. I so appreciate it. And I'm sure I'll be seeing y'all out there tonight. If Queen Bee's live tonight, I'll be buzzing on in there to see what's going on. I always do. All right, y'all, go have what time is it? Is it dinner time? Oh, yeah, 6 o'clock. All right. All right. Y'all have a good night. I will see you out there out on the streets. And is there something else I was gonna know? There was, but I'll remember it as soon as I hit end broadcast. Okay. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. Everybody have a great night. I'll definitely see you around before I leave. I just don't know that I'll go live. All right, kids, we're going to go out with the fabulous and the intro and the outro. Bye.